place?
Strange place. Plotting.
Nowhere to hide. Don't blink! Hey!
Everlasting as the moon!
Speed of light! Don't blink! I'm going in! Cut to the chase! Speed of light!
It's futile! The end is nigh!
Transfixed!
Don't blink! Spring forth!
The world!
Propagate! Huh? Why can't we beat this guy? Oh, Paimon doesn't get it! We faced others like him before! What's wrong this time?
Traveler, though you may have managed to avert countless crises before, your good fortune was bound to end sooner or later. It's time you realize how weak and powerless you really are. Your brother. Pitiful traveler, are you really so ignorant? Or are you just living in complete denial? His Highness has long since forsaken you. Your meager existence in his eyes is that of an annoying bug, only to be stepped upon. The bonds of love and family which drive you to find your sibling are utterly gone. Your journey is meaningless. But don't you fret now. Today will be your last. Now die!
What do we do? Oh, there she is! Quick, let's see how she's doing.
Ah, so sweet.
Well, the good news is that she's still conscious. Hey, why'd you drop her food on the floor like that? Oh, guess that makes sense. Anyways, we can talk about this later. Whoa, wait a sec. Look at all this fruit lying around her.
Who is there? Tainari, is that you? Huh?
It's okay. You can relax, Hypatia. Tainari sent us here to bring you some food and water. Here, we have a letter that he asked us to...
I see. So, you're friends of Tainari. I apologize for all the trouble I've caused you. I'm grateful that you came so quickly to save me. You even brought all this fruit.
Well, actually, we didn't bring the fruit. It was already here when we arrived. We were kind of wondering about that, actually. When we found you here, there was all this fruit lying around and even some juice dripping from your lips. How did you end up like this anyway?
Oh, really? I seem to understand now. All the fruit was likely from my, neighbor. Must have come by and saw me like this.
Your neighbor? You mean there's someone else living nearby?
Oh? So you're able to see them too?
Wait, hold on a second, Traveler. You say that before we arrived, you saw some mysterious creature and suddenly had a strange dream? Isn't it?
No, I actually do believe what the Traveler is saying. I myself had a similar experience. You needn't worry. They mean you no harm. They only dragged you into the dream because they...
So, Hypatia...
I'm not sure what it's called, to be honest. But I know this because the first time I saw them was also the exact day my consciousness was able to form a connection with Earth. Even after I opened my eyes and stopped meditating, my heart was still pounding, and my mind was racing with... And at that very moment, I suddenly noticed In my curiosity, I began to walk over to the creature. They must have already been used to me living in the cave, because they didn't seem to mind me approaching them. They just kept doing whatever they were up to. It wasn't until I crouched down next to them that they suddenly realized that I could see them.
Oh! And then?
And then I had a dream. By the time I came to, they were nowhere to be seen. I was convinced they'd never show up again. But sure enough, I saw them nearby a few days later. And they weren't alone. I feel like they aren't as afraid of me as the first time I approached them. But I never would have expected them to save me. Yes, no doubt about that. Sorry about that. Sounds like...
Well, if somebody hadn't dropped the food earlier... Anyway, alright, we're up, Traveler. Today's menu will feature Sweet Madame, and...
sounds good. I've never tried any dishes from other nations.
Let's use the empty box that Tainari gave us. Oh, it smells amazing.
Are you already finished cooking? Smells delectable. I'm truly thankful whenever I can enjoy a proper meal like... Even though everything you mentioned was in Tainari's letter, it's still hard to believe you were able to connect. It took me nearly 3 years before I could do so. And everyone at the academia even lauded me as a genius. You should know that some researchers spent their entire lives...
So why does this incense allow people...
The ingredients used to make spirit-born ale primarily consist of plants created by Greater Lord Rukadevata. Since the root of the Dendro Archon's power lies within Irminsul, we can occasionally tap into her powers to peer naturally. Anyone who can establish a connection with Irminsul in their first ever attempt must be a person of great understanding.
Makes sense. But
That was primarily taking in any... Not to worry, though. Technically, your body should still... I must admit, I am quite envious of your abilities. Even if it meant suffering...
Whoa, you really...
I am a researcher, after all. As a member of the Ritawe Starshan at the Academia, my main area of research is the stars and their connection to the fate of... Which is why I am currently in the stage of training known as Satyavada life. Many researchers in Sumeru have lost their minds while seeking to attune with Earth. Sages have said that's why we meditate alone. We need to ensure that our minds will be calm while minimizing the possibility of involving anyone else.
Whoa, so knowledge from Irminsul could be super dangerous. Don't you ever feel afraid of the risk, Hypatia?
Of course I do. Especially during nights that are pitch dead silent without eating. However, I've been feeling better as of late. I don't get as scared anymore, no. I believe that... But what's strangest of all is that they're clearly an envoy of...
What's so strange about that? It doesn't sound so out of place for a divine being, does it?
Well, it's
Ah, is that...
Yes, well, to an extent. The sages say that wisdom implies... Yes, the fact that I was born into... I studied hard, but then, it was back then.
So...
Sorry. If you two are ever... There's no need to be thanking me. You two are my savior.
Now that we know Hypatia is alright,